Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to create this unique transition in DaVinci Resolve. I actually uploaded the longer version of that video on Instagram, so you can go check it out and do it to follow me on Instagram. Now let me teach you how to create this transition. So I've created a timeline in DaVinci Resolve and I've imported the video, and this is what we are going to be working with. This video we are going to be working with. So we're going to be cutting out the headlights and using it as the transition. So there are two things you need to know while selecting a video for this transition. There are two major things you need to know while selecting a video. The first thing is that wherever you are cutting out, the part of the video you are cutting out has to be centralized. In this case, it's the headlight, right? It has to be centralized, being the middle of the video, because the camera is zooming in directly, so it has to be in the middle. So when it zooms out, the whole frame would show, the entire video would show. If it's one-sided, the transition will not make sense. I don't know how to explain it, but the part that you are cutting out, in this case the headlight, has to be in the middle of the frame. That is one. Now the second thing you need to know is that the video has to be zooming out and not zooming in. This video, for example, is zooming in, right? We can't use it because the transition has to do with zooming out. You are zooming from one clip to another clip using the transition, the part that has been cut out of the clip. So the video always has to be zooming out and not zooming in. So if you want to use this video, for example, this one that is zooming in, right? What you would have to do is you would have to look for the perfect spot where you would want the video to start. Here, for example, right? Then you have to cut it. And then what you are going to do is that you are going to reverse the clip. You're going to reverse the clip. So we're going to click on change clip speed, and then you would click reverse speed. Now the beginning is going to go to the end and the end is going to go to the beginning. So the video is going to start with the zoomed in version and then it's going to zoom out. See that? It's going to start with the zoomed in version and going to zoom out. So it's the other way before you reverse it. So this is how you need it. So now that we've reversed this clip, what we're going to do is we're going to make it a compound clip. So I'm going to right click, new compound clip, and let's just say create. So this is how we can work with a clip like this. After you've reversed it, you have to make it a compound clip. Now, if you are working with a clip like this, that the part you want to cut out is not in the middle. For example, this is the part you want to cut out. The front of this car, right? This part of this car. This is the part you want to cut out. And it's not centralized. And I said that it has to be centralized. What you can do is you can just reposition it. You zoom in a little, maybe zoom in like this. You reposition it in a way that it will be in the middle. This part you want to cut out will be in the middle. So drag it this way. So yeah, so this is okay. This is not like perfectly in the middle, but it's not as bad as it was in the initially where it was just in the side of the video. So this is kind of okay. You can do the zoom out transition with something like this. Now when you've done this, you will still have to make it a compound clip. And you just just create like this. Yeah, so you make a compound clip. So this way, if the part you're cutting out is kind of in the middle, but it's very bad and it will not work if it's like this, right? The part is just in the corner of the video. When the camera is zooming out, it won't zoom out well. So now that I've told you about the two things you need to know while choosing a clip, which is very important, let's come back to this clip and let's start working. So we're going to make sure we are at the beginning of the clip, like the very first frame of the clip. And then we're going to save this first frame as a still image. So you can do this by clicking on File, Export, and then Current Frame as Still. This way you can save the image of the first frame in your computer, and then you have to import it back into DaVinci Resolve. So here's our still image that I've imported into DaVinci Resolve. So I'm just going to drag it into the timeline. So now I'm going to make sure the video clip is on top of the still image by just dragging the video clip on top like this and then dragging everything down. So now we're going to convert this still image into a fusion clip by right clicking on the still image and then click on new fusion clip. Now it's a fusion clip. Now we're going to open the fusion clip by right clicking and open a fusion page. So now that we are in the fusion page, the first thing we're going to do is to add a polygon node to the media in node so that we could mask it out, right? So we'll click on the media in node, make sure it's selected, and then click on the polygon node. So the whole thing is going to disappear, and to bring it all back, we'll just click on invert. So this way we can see what we are masking. So with the polygon node selected and the click append tool up here selected, we're going to start masking. So we'll just zoom in, and I'll have to like speed this part so it doesn't get boring. So we are done masking and we've maxed out the headlight. What we're going to do next is that we're going to bring in a background layer and make this the background instead of the media in one node, right? So we're going to disconnect the media in one node from the media out, connect the background to the media out. So this is going to be like the background while the rest are going to be connected. So click on the background, make alpha 0 so it can be transparent. Now up here we are going to duplicate this media in one node, duplicate it, because there are going to be two layers. There's going to be the body without the headlights and the headlight without the body. So you have two layers that you can animate. So next we are going to create our 3D scene. So I'm going to drag this up here a little so we can create our 3D scene. I'm going to bring in the basic 3D elements like the image plane and bring in the merge 3D, bring in the render 3D, and then connect the camera 3D to the mesh 3D, just like this. So we are going to bring in a second image plane 3D, and I'm going to connect this second one to the mesh 3D. So we are going to connect each of these media in to the image plane 3D, connect this to this, connect this to this. Now we're going to connect the render 3D and to the background to create a merge. As you can see here in the preview, nothing is showing, even though these images are connected to the 3D camera, but nothing is showing. And this is because if we drag this image 3D to the second preview, we'll notice that the camera is in the same level with the image. That's why it's not showing. Now what you can do is you can click on the camera 3D and just drag it backward, right, to show the image. But if we do it this way, you might not show the entire image accurately. Like you might zoom out and some of the image might be left unseen. So what you can do to make sure the camera views the entire image is to, we're going to undo this, is to go to the transform, and in the Z translation with the camera 3D node selected, in the Z translation, all you need to do is change this figure to 1.65, and now the entire image is going to show. So what we're going to do next is that we are going to bring back the headlights. So we have two images here, we have two masks. They are both masking out the headlights. So I'm going to select this image at the back, the polygon attached to this image at the back, this one, and then we're just going to uncheck the invert. Now the headlight is back. So we have two images now. We have one with the headlight showing and one with the body showing. So they are just, they are together. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to offset the headlight a little. So right now the headlight and the image are on the same level. So what we want to do is we want to offset the headlight backward a little so that when we bring it down, it will be behind the first image. Right now, if you bring it down to be on the same level with the first image, so you can't hide it. So we want to offset it back a little, so when we bring it down, to be behind the image. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the image plane 3D attached to the headlight masked image, and we're going to go to the translation, and in the Z translation here, we're going to turn it to minus 0.01. So this way the headlight just moves back a little. So if you use your Y translation to bring it down now, you can see that it's going behind the image. So what we're going to do next is to bring in a duplicate node to give it that duplicate effect. And we're going to be adding the duplicate node to the car cutout and not the headlight cutout. So we're going to add duplicate node to the car cutout. We're going to click on the image 3D connected to the car image, and we're just going to search for duplicate. And I'm going to use the duplicate 3D node and not the normal duplicate 3D node. I'm going to add that, and it's going to be connected to the image 3D of the car image. And then if you look at the 3D preview, you won't see anything yet, and that's because we've not selected the numbers of duplicate we want. So we're going to go to the inspector and choose, I'm going to choose 10 copies, the duplicates I want. You can choose 2, 3, you can choose 20 copies. It just depends on your discretion, right? But I'm just going to use 10 copies so the duplicates can be, it can be obvious that you are running through a number of pictures. So 10 copies, and still you won't see, if you look at the 3D preview, you won't see the duplicates showing yet, and that's because we've not set the Z offset. And I'm going to change the offset to something like minus 0.12 or minus 0.13. That means minus 0.12. And if you look at the 3D preview, you can see you have multiple images now, duplicates behind each other. Yeah. And then if you look at the media out preview, you can also see them stacked up behind each other. So this is what we want. Now we're just going to click on the camera 3D and we're going to animate the camera to run through the images. And we can do this by just moving some frame forward somewhere around here. We create a keyframe in the Z translation, then we move our keyframe to 0, and then we just move the camera through the image just like this. We just zoom in. We zoom in like this, something like this. And once it runs through the images, it's going to create a keyframe at frame 0. And if we play back the image right now, we're going to see something like this. It's kind of slow because this effect is heavy on my PC, so I'm just going to go to the playback and change the timeline resolution to quarter. It's not going to be as clear, but you can see the playback smoothly. So let's go again. Right, it's going to be something like this. Let's play it again. And now that we've zoomed out to review the image, we're going to bring back the headlights. So to bring back the headlights, we're going to make sure we're in the last keyframe of the camera animation. And then we're going to click on the image plane 3D attached to the headlight. We're going to create a keyframe in the Y translation. We'll move some frames forward. And then we're just going to bring up the headlight. And the best way to do this is just to make the figures here 0. Make it 0. So everything is just going to come up. So if we go to the first frame and play it back, this is what you're going to see. That's coming up. All right. So now that we've done the animation, we've done the camera animation, we've done the headlight animation, we are going to add interpolations to this animation to make it very smooth. So now that we are done adding interpolation, let's check out the video. Let's go again. All right, so now we're just going to add the background behind it so that we can see the transition better. Raise this up, bring in this image, and then check it out. See that? And that's how you can create this very cool looking transition in DaVinci Resolve. But if you learned something from this video, please drop a like and a comment. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.